Hello, good morning. It is the 10th of October. It is World Mental Health Day. It is also ADHD Awareness Month. And I'm making this video because I just want to again put out a message for both of those kind of occasions. And also because I'm having a bit of a struggly day at the moment. But I've written a few thoughts down, and I've made these into a blog. So in the interest of dual coding, for those people who like to watch a video, it's here. And then if you want to read the blog, you can read that as well. So my name is Lena. I am 53 years old. And at the age of 51, I was diagnosed with ADHD. Prior to that, I had found life very difficult from a mental health point of view. I've always found it hard to calm my racing mind, to manage my massive emotions, to feel physically calm, and to focus on the right things at the right time, and also to understand how time works. So, what I now know is all of those things are very much part of ADHD. But for much of my life, I found it very hard to understand myself, my feelings, and my behaviours, even though I tried really hard to do so through reading, through writing, through therapy, and through just trying really, really hard. But much of the time, the things that I was doing didn't seem to work. And so then I found another coping strategy. I discovered that if I work really hard and I'm very good at work related things, then all the things I'm not so good at go under the radar. Now, luckily, I'm a teacher and recently a head teacher, and many of the things about those jobs are really well matched to an ADHD brain. So, for example, problem solving, creative thinking, leading teams, teaching, moving around, wearing lots of different hats. But there are two problems with this coping strategy. The first is that there are lots of things about my job that I find really hard because of my ADHD, like managing my email inbox, not taking things personally, and then not feeling the pain and the feelings of the children and the families, and sometimes the teachers for whom our education system doesn't quite work. So I take a lot of that on. I'm also less successful in relation to work when it comes to switching off. And this has resulted in me ruminating about work issues and working on them when I'm not at work. And this often means that the problems get solved and the work gets done, which I'm sure looks great to anyone else who's none the wiser. But the downside of that is that I end up overworked and exhausted. And worse still, the people who I really love and care about in my family and my friendship groups, they get a tired, negative, fraught version of me, which they really don't deserve. And possibly even worse still, I feel tired and exhausted and sad a lot of the time. Now, for many years, I thought I was suffering from depression. But since my diagnosis, I've realised that the sadness and the low mood that I feel is very much linked to exhaustion and the ADHD part of my brain not being able to switch off. Now that I know this, it is easier for me to make sense of what I need to do to keep myself mentally healthy. And I would stress the easier because I have to say that having a diagnosis doesn't mean that life with ADHD is always easy. Today is World Mental Health Day. It's also the first day of my October half term, and like many other people with ADHD, holidays and the weekend days can be really, really tough. If my brain doesn't have work to focus on, then it tends to focus on other things, like how messy my house is, or how much my tooth hurts, or how awful things are for so many people around the world, or how messed up and sad I am, and how I should just try harder to feel better. But on this mental health day, I'm going to remind myself again that I have ADHD, that I've worked very hard this term, that I've achieved a lot, and that I do need to listen to the tired part of me and this cold sore growing here, so that I don't just spend 2 weeks catching up on the work I haven't done and avoiding the fact that there is a lot more to me than my work self. I know I'm really, really lucky to have been able to pay for a diagnosis and to find a fantastic private psychiatrist. Um, I was really lucky 2 years ago when I was at my lowest ebb to find that. And I know that things are much tougher for people now because of the cost of living crisis, and also because it's harder to get access to specialists. But please, if what I've talked about here makes any sense to you, please find out more about ADHD and see whether knowing more could help you or perhaps help someone close to you. My top recommendations, if you want to know more, are Jessica McCabe on YouTube, How to ADHD, a book called Better Late Than Never by Emma Mahoney, which is very helpful for people like me who come to a late diagnosis. The ADHD Foundation, their resources are second to none. And yeah, I think that's it for now because there's so much out there, but I really would recommend those. And just to finish, you're not alone. You might feel alone. You might feel that no one can help you. You might feel you're not worthy of help. You might feel it's not worth resting and looking after yourself because you're not worth it. But I promise you can feel better, and it's worth it making that little first step. So happy World Mental Health Day, happy ADHD Awareness Month, and you can be happier being you. Lots of love. Take care.